What's going on, everyone? So, Austin Reaves is back, and he's been back for a while. He has been fantastic the last 20, 25 games or so. Now, look, I've been very critical of Austin Reaves, been very critical of everybody, right? Because I do believe when it's warranted, we should talk about it. When he's great, we talk about it, right? I was at one point a very big Austin Reaves advocate. I defended Reaves, tooth and nail. I talked about how he was the second coming of Michael Jordan and all that stuff and hyped him up like he was just this prodigy, right? Then you had this year stretch, and again, I tried to justify things. I made excuses hey, he played in the Olympics and you're doing a lot of wear and tear and all this stuff. It's not just him, right? But it was had this 100-game sample size of him just being inconsistent. But okay, bad year. Reports even came out that, hey, he had tired legs. No problem, right? So we get into this season. And for 30, 35 games of the season, he's just, again, inconsistent. He had great games. He had games. He had games that were fantastic, but there were moments where it was just I don't know what Austin Reaves is going to show up, right? And he just had these inconsistencies and stuff and settled a lot and it was frustrating. So, of course, I was critical. Why? Because we only have the information we have at that time. I don't know what Austin Reaves is going to do, 20 games later. I only know what Austin Reaves has done the last, 100 games or 120 games, whatever it was at that point, right? But I talked about how the Lakers are at their best when Austin Reaves is aggressive, continues to attack, right? And when we got Luka, one of the big things that I talked about and stressed was that this might allow Austin Reaves now to be that aggressive Reaves. Why? Because you don't need Reaves to now be playmaking Reaves. Where you saw at times he would get a little tunnel vision, or he'd get a little passive, or he'd try to balance out, playmaking and scoring, and it would at times hurt him, rather than when he's at his best is just being aggressive. The assists are going to come just by taking what the defense gives him. That's something I really wanted to see Reaves get to. And when they traded for Luka, I was really excited because it was I think Luka will put Reaves in a position now to where it'll be like it was every time LeBron or AD were out of games, right? LeBron and AD, when they missed the game, Austin Reaves was usually great. I mean, even during my criticisms, I would talk about that. And I break it down and kind of go over why. Because he had to be aggressive. He could, you needed to make up for Anthony Davis or LeBron James being out. So he was constantly in attack mode. He was picking and choosing and getting to his spots and being aggressive. You've seen that, Reaves. The last 20, 25 games, you've not had Anthony Davis. Some cases you've not had LeBron James. In some cases you've not had Luka. Austin Reaves has had no choice but to be aggressive. And you're seeing Austin Reaves from, 2 seasons ago now. That was the emergence Austin Reaves. Because that version of Austin Reaves was aggressive. He was in attack mode. He constantly was putting pressure on the defense. That's the best version of Austin Reaves. It's why I wanted him to come off the bench at times. It's why I wanted him to kind of focus and play the 2 guard. And I talked about hey, instead of making him the playmaker and the point guard, just let him score the basketball. Because Lakers are at their best when he is aggressive and he's looking to score and shoot his shot. He's a guy that can go get you 20 on any given night and still dish out, 6 assists and grab, 5 to 6 rebounds and stuff like that. Right? It is very crafty and can put pressure on the defense and get to the foul line. But it's just he'd have these games and these stretches where he was that, but then he'd have, just as many games and stretches, if not more at times, where he was the opposite. And he's passive and he's 1 of 9. And it's just come on, dude. I need you to be aggressive here, right? Stop settling. Stop bailing out the defense here. Most teams can't stop you, especially when you're the 3rd, 4th, 5th option, right? Teams are worried about everyone else, but you go out there and cook, right? Let them cook. And I do think that a lot of it has been kind of the circumstances recently, right? I don't think it's a coincidence that Anthony Davis misses games, LeBron misses games, Lakers trade for Luka, and Luka misses games. And during this stretch, with everybody kind of being out and everything kind of being an influx and all that stuff, Austin Reaves has just been bam, 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 bam. He's had a couple games there, but I've defended those games. Like even like he had the 3 games after the injury where he was not very good, but I defended him and I said, hey, just got back from injury. Let's give him a couple games, kind of get his legs under him, and then we'll start, judging him based on his performance then, right? Guess what? Got through those 3 games. He's been great, right? He nearly beat Denver by himself, right? Like, so the guy is him, and he can be, and he's fantastic. Now, I know people, because they're going to say, like, well, you wanted to trade him. Yeah, I still think if the right trade comes along, you trade him. No one is untradeable, right? Like, again, Lakers just traded Anthony Davis. And I know people say it's Luka, but that's the point, right? Like, they didn't just trade Anthony Davis for a bag of chips. I've never once said you trade Austin Reaves for a bag of chips, but if you can get a better fit or a better player and a clear upgrade, then you do it, right? Like, if tomorrow you could trade Austin Reaves for Anthony Edwards, would you not do it? You're telling me you would not trade Austin Reaves for Anthony Edwards? Of course you would, right? So guess what? You're in the same position I am, right? You're in the same boat I am. Maybe your standard might be a little higher, but it's still tradable, right? Even this version of Austin Reaves, I still think it's tradable, right? But I think this version of Austin Reaves gives the Lakers the best chance to win based on what we currently have. Now, again, things can change, and this team probably looks very different in the offseason. Also, Austin Reaves is going into a contract year next season. He's going to need to do contracts. The Lakers are going to have to make some tough decisions here, right? He's not going to make $13 million. Outside of Wemby, he's the best contract in the league. Like, because Wemby's making like $13 million also. But he's not going to make $13 million forever. He's not going to make $13 million on his next contract, right? His next contract's probably going to be $30, $40 million. Team is going to give him, especially if he continues to play the way he's playing right now, teams are going to look at that like, man, like, what does he look like as your second or first option, right? Like, he's probably a 25, 5-5 guy, right? Which is what I said I thought he could be at some point. I thought he could be a 20. I talked about, prime Gordon Hayward, and how he was a 23 to 25, 5-5 guy. He could just do everything out on the basketball court, Swiss Army knife. And I thought he could be even maybe a better version, an all-star. Again, I hyped up Austin Reaves like he was it, right? And, again, I can only judge somebody based on the information we have. And he wasn't great for a good stretch. He had his moments, again, he had his games, he had his stretches, right? But, like all season last year, right? Like, he had just this roller coaster. I mean, he ended up getting benched and then came back in the starting unit. And then, it was just like he was costing us games. And it just, again, it's like, how long can I sit here and just defend that? Well, now you got him, Reaves again. Lakers are winning. Lakers have been great. Lakers have taken the league by storm. And he's a huge part of it. And he deserves praise. And he deserves the credit. And he deserves the attention for it. Just like the criticism, right? Talk about it all the time. No one's above criticism, right? Like LeBron. I've criticized LeBron. I've criticized Anthony Davis, right? Luka, I'm not as critical of right now because, again, context and circumstance matters, right? Like, why am I more critical of Reaves and LeBron and, like, if they turn the ball over or they settle or whatever more, right? It's because they've been here long enough, right? They have the chemistry. They have the understanding. They know what their role is. They, like, we need them to be this, right? Luka, he just got here. He missed 7 weeks, right? Like, and then, or 6 weeks, came back, played 2 games, and then missed another week. And then, is building chemistry and trying to work it out with LeBron. And now LeBron's out of the lineup. And there's just so much. It's hard for anybody to figure that out, right? But I love what Austin Reaves has done. Austin Reaves has been fantastic. And I mean, he's been everything that I've wanted him to be. Everything that I've asked for him to be. Go watch the videos of my criticism. All of my criticism, he is done, right? Like, he's corrected, which is why he's been so good, right? And what was my criticism? It was lack of consistency and lack of aggression. He's been consistent, and he's been aggressive. So, again, praise the guy. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Feel what your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. Are you glad that Austin Reaves is back and he's playing great and he's looking great and he's doing all the things we need him to do? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out as we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.